Hello, we're on.
Hey, oh, geez. All right. So,
Cute.
everybody, welcome. Oh, can I start now?
You can start.
Okay. Hey, everybody, welcome to a nut. Oh, no.
Did it
Of
work?
Go ahead.
course.
What's happening?
We're,
Oh no.
okay. Hello,
Welcome to
everybody.
another episode of Nightmare Roadshow with nothing but technical difficulties. Oh my
All
goodness.
day long.
All day long.
This is
All
the
day
nightmare
long.
part of the Nightmare Roadshow.
Hey, Birdie, let Whispering Willow know that I got a recording saying
are
it
you
failed
ready?
for her. And
Oh.
she's back.
Can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you, we just can't see you.
I'm in a dark car.
Okay,
Am I back?
you're back, Pecan.
Jeez.
Yahoo!
All right.
This has been a doozy of a day.
Well, we're trying this. We knew there would be kinks to work out with our first live, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but it's okay.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
It's okay.
This is not good for my agoraphobia. Anyways, really quick before I get booted back off. Welcome to an episode of Nightmare Road. I, of course, am one of your hosts, Decon, here with a very, very mysterious.
SOS. And here with the dark and the lovely.
Messy Jessie. And I am here with the most beautiful Ash, the
Oracle, and I'm here with our very secretive, very amazing, and awesome CIA agent.
Dirty
we have no
birdie.
idea.
I thought I was getting introduced again. I'm like, oh boy.
And Birdie, who's our guest tonight?
Our guest tonight is my sister-in-law, Whispering Willows. And I invited her to come on and share some spooky stories with us.
Ooh. Keeping with the Christmas tradition, right? We're going to tell spooky stories tonight. But first, I want to know what everybody's been doing this week.
Surviving.
Anybody had anything exciting except cleaning stalls? That's all I ever do.
I fell up the stairs today.
You fell up the stairs. It's better than taking your ear off like you did in our last podcast.
Yes, I did. I took my ear off too.
It's fine.
Oh my
And I
god.
did it in
got,
front of the attorney.
Oh, nice. That's nice.
Yeah, it was great.
How
Anyway.
did it
I got tested for gonorrhea. I'm kidding.
Oh my God.
You know what?
I'm kidding.
You know what?
What?
Oh my
What?
God.
We're going to get so booted off every platform.
No. So, I mean, and for those of you that are waiting in anticipation, Refried Dreams, we're going strong. I mean, the coyote came through. They're in the country now. So
What?
it's across the border.
Oh boy.
You know, and here's what's funny is that
Oh,
if
wow.
I would have known that we could just walk right across the border, I wouldn't have paid $5,000 for that coyote to kind of bring us over the
Oh
border.
Oh my
goodness
god.
sake.
Way to make fans.
Okay.
What?
Well, we're glad you made it across safely.
Oh, thanks.
No problem.
And Dirty Birdie, what have you been up to this week?
Not too heck of a lot.
No?
Just trying,
No.
just going to work, coming home. That's it.
Yeah.
How's
Well,
Meow Meow?
My life.
yeah. How's the meow
Yeah,
meow?
Tub Kitty.
Where's
Mine-
the tub kitty? Where's the picture of the tub kitty? Can you get the tub kitty?
Go get her.
You want to go get the cat?
I want you to go get the kitty cat. We've had so many comments on the kitty cat.
All right.
Everybody wants to
Yeah.
know where she is, how she's doing.
So
See
if
what you
I
did? Now he
don't,
left.
I
She's
know.
always sleeping.
Well, and if I don't give tortillas to the farm animals every day, holy crap, it's like a revolt. We'll break out. So Eddie's screaming, goats are screaming, horses whinnying.
So do you like ever train your donkeys? So when you step out your door, do you go, oh yeah? And then they go,
Okay, so here's the thing about having radar ears out there is that with the windows closed, when my alarm
What?
goes off on my phone, he hears it and he starts screaming for me.
What was that sound again?
Oh, that one?
oh yeah.
And he does the really cute when you get really close. It's so cute. I just love him.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a night of refried dreams in the bathroom.
There's the kitty cat. Oh,
More like
Jeez.
refried
Is that a she
nightmares.
or a he?
It's a she.
Oh my gosh, she is
she's
so
fabulous.
cute.
Hello,
Oh, I thought you were
Hi,
holding on to. You're holding on to Jack Nicholson.
Aww. Ash,
know
where's your
where
kitty
mine is.
cat?
I'm
You need to
sorry.
go get your kitty.
Fuck, I don't
If
know
I try
where
to get
she
Boo
is.
Boo,
Is
she's
she
got like 2
even-
extra claws on every toe, every foot, and
Hold on,
So
you may
Fred-
hear more stuff. Oh, here she is.
Extra claws?
she
Hold
has
on, I have
7 claws on each foot.
She's a polydactyl.
Isn't that
Ew.
bud?
She has
What do
7
they call
toes.
it?
She's a polydactyl.
Where'd you,
Yeah.
where'd you get that? Did you get that cat at Chernobyl? Where'd you get that?
Yeah.
I almost said polygramus or something. I have no idea.
Do you point and laugh at it?
Lock
I'm
the
like,
door.
freak!
No. Who's the
All right.
author? Who's the
I
author
would.
that had those cats?
There she
I,
was. You saw a glimpse.
Okay, so
I would treat her like a second-class citizen in my house.
Come here.
no, she's the queen. She is the queen.
You guys.
So just
oh
so you
boy.
know. What so we're doing spooky stories. So, and I know Willows, you said that you have a bunch, and I would like to hear one of your spooky stories.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know how much background that Dirty Birdie has told you guys. So why don't we start there? What all has he told you?
Not much.
Nothing.
We just hear more about the tub cat.
Yeah.
Okay,
Who's, Who's Kelly?
Yeah, we didn't hear much. So,
Kelly, I said Dirty Birdie.
are you there,
Right.
Willow? That's okay.
Yeah, I'm still here. So I was born in what they call the cull. My mom's water never broke. And so
Oh.
I see all sorts of things. I see spirits. Sometimes I hear spirits. So I have seen a lot of things from a young age, stuff that would scare the living crap out of most people.
Oh.
So one of the first experiences I ever had with the dark side was when my cousin was messing around with the Ouija board with a group of her friends, and they all had joined hands and had the Ouija board in the middle of them. I refused to participate because I seen what was in the room and it scared me. I was 7, I think, when this happened. And so we were all in this, it was like a barn type thing that they were in small town, southeast Idaho. And they were messing around with the Ouija board. And I was told, don't break the circle if something happens. And they were messing around, asking it questions. One of them asked if there was a demon, and all of a sudden this wind started blowing in this barn, and granted there was no wind outside, but it was blowing inside, and everybody started screaming. And as a 7-year-old, it scared the crap out of me because I didn't understand what was going on. But I seen these dark entities coming up out of the ground, and they could not let go. I ran up and broke the circle. And was thrown back about 5 feet. So
Wow.
that was my first experience ever with seeing something dark.
Jeez, I would have been thrown back 10 feet.
Yeah.
That's nuts. So, what? How did everybody else take it when you broke the circle? I mean, what did they do?
They just all fell to the ground.
Did they?
So, what do you mean?
Like
they literally,
or-
they all fell to the ground. Just limp noodles fell to the ground.
Oh,
They
jeez.
were all
Okay.
sitting in a circle.
They were all standing. They weren't sitting. They were standing in a circle around this Ouija board that was on a table.
Do you feel like you've had an attachment since then, or any of them?
I don't think I had an attachment since then, mainly because my Aunt Gail knew that I was gifted, and she had provided a protection over me. Growing up, my dad and my stepmother thought that I had psychiatric problems because I was able to describe people that had died, or I told them way before the person had died that they were going to die. So, speaking from that, it's really strange. Go ahead.
Oh, what do you mean? Like you're telling people before they died that they were going to die?
I was telling family members about other family members that were going to die.
Oh,
shit. Remember last time I did that? I got arrested for a terroristic threat. I was 4 years old when that happened the first time. I knew that my grandfather was dying. I had seen him in a dream, seen the casket, seen his picture in church. I didn't understand. I was just telling my dad about Grandpa being in a box at the church, and my dad didn't understand what I was saying. Oh.
Yeah, that's tough. That's
yeah. So getting back. Go ahead.
Damn. So as the years went on, do you feel like those type of abilities have gotten stronger, or do you feel like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, have you honed that skill, or is it like a majority of the people where, as young people, as children, they have these abilities, and then the world kind of like squashes it out of them, out of ridicule, and those senses kind of dull. You know what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely, and I think Dirty Birdie could tell you or answer that question. What do you think, Dirty Birdie? You think that I've gotten stronger?
Yeah, you definitely improved over the years since I met with you. Got a little creepy at times, but I do have a story where she comes in, where she's in play. It's interesting.
I had a creepy uncle.
I don't know what shit.
Please do not go on.
So my one of the things that Dirty Birdie's talking about is I took him on a getaway when I was in college in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And we had this bed and breakfast, and we went to this bar when we first got there, and we walked in, and as I walk in, I see these spirits, things that nobody else seen. I've seen these guys sitting over along the wall. I've seen another woman sitting at another table, and of course the spirits are all staring at me, and I'm looking at them saying, okay, please God, don't make me interact with you, because I don't want people thinking I'm nuts. Anyway, we go. Yeah,
I mean,
it is so embarrassing when a spirit comes and talks to you and they won't leave you alone. Yeah, I could tell you stories about that too, but we went and sat down, and of course Dirty Birdie's walking around looking at all these photos in this bar, and my husband and I were sitting down. We were hungry, wanting to order something, and Dirty Birdie sits down, and I guess I was staring off in the corner, and Dirty Birdie goes, what are you staring at? And then I start describing these people that I'm seeing. And the server comes up and starts taking our order. And as I'm describing what I'm seeing, she's like, "Oh yeah, that's like the previous owner." And Dirty Birdie says, "Follow me over here," and showed me the picture. And the people that I were describing was those people in that picture.
No.
Oh, wow.
Oh shit, that's scary.
Yep.
Yeah. And to me, seeing spirits not scary. I can tell you that in my life, walking down, like in Kemmer, Wyoming, when I was there was times where I swear I seen the Antichrist walking around. You see people walking and you see what's following them. Have you ever run into that?
Every day.
Like, wait,
Yes.
the Antichrist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go back to that. That's what I'm stuck on.
Yeah, so you guys know about the whole religious Antichrist is coming, blah, 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 you know.
Yeah.
And-
Book of Revelations, chapter 16, I believe.
Yeah. Well, I was
Talks
raised
about the
LDS.
Antichrist.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you know, there was people walking through town, or this one particular guy walking through town, and I couldn't go past him. I went to the other side of the street. It was just, whenever I was near this person, my stomach would get sick. My husband at that time, LBW, didn't understand why I wouldn't walk on the side of the street with this individual. But once I told him that as he was walking, I could see these dark entities reaching up from the sidewalk and clinging onto this person, and they were walking like it was nothing. But you see
wow.
these dark entities reaching up and clinging onto this person and climbing up and down and through their mouth and through their body, and you don't see this person reacting in any way, shape, or form. You know that this person is inviting these people in.
That's creepy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So I had a weird.
That's kind of like a college girl at a bar.
I had a weird experience Sunday at breakfast, and the restaurant we were at, I could see the door. I always position myself so that I can see the door. My back, it's just a thing, right? Military,
Yeah.
police, whatever. We got to
Situational awareness.
Yeah, so I'm always watching the door, and this guy walked in, and it looked like, I don't even know how to explain this, but like black static around him.
Oh, interesting.
And he was alone, and I said to the person with me, there was a couple people with me, and I said, do you guys see that? And they looked over, and I don't think that they necessarily saw it, but they could tell that there was darkness. And I had my eye on him the whole time because it was weird. I've never seen.
Was it literal static? Did he look like Pigpen from Charlie Brown?
Yes, that would be what I saw, was like this black static. But no, it was darkness. It wasn't dirt. It wasn't dirt. It was darkness. It was the freakiest thing. I've never seen that before.
So
I've never seen this. Yeah.
Well, what
I don't know.
were you feeling at that time when you were...
I just was really uneasy, and he sat where I could see him, thank God, because I would have been really nervous if I couldn't have kept my eye on him the whole time. Because I didn't know, like, is he up to something? Is he going to try to, you know what I mean? Like, is he going to do some kind of shooting? Is he going to, what is this? You know? And
Can you imagine if he's unaware of what's going on and he just thinks that he's really hot and you're checking him out? He's like, that lady's got her eye on me. Good thing I He's like,
I can just see him walking up to her and going, "Do you like what you see?" And she's like, "Oh, hell no."
Oh, hell no.
Like,
Hell no.
I was just thinking it was decon on Saturday night, you know.
So what? Oh, God. Oh, God. So that's really interesting, Willows. Jesse, have you had anything like this? Because you're a medium. What?
Yeah, so I have something similar. Me and her need to get together and talk. Poor dirty birdie.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I do.
So first, let me just say, when she was telling me the story that he was looking around, all I could see is him saying, "Wow, that's a nice rack."
What?
Dirty.
I don't know
Dirty,
why.
you are.
No.
Dirty,
No.
dirty.
No, I was looking at that picture. I was looking at the lady in the middle, and it was like somebody just
So-
going, "Ah, you can see
Oh,
me,
so-
huh? You can see me."
Oh, okay. So she's right.
Okay.
You did say that's a nice rack.
There's a deer in this bar, I'm sure.
Oh, really? Is there?
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, I mean, I could tell you guys a lot of stories. It pretty much is happening. I completely agree with Whispering Willows that this is kind of, I mean, each of us have our own experiences, if that makes sense. But it's pretty similar, you know, if you really think about it. I mean, I see things every day as well as she does. One story I can tell you guys is I'm very connected with Montana in some way, and I go up to Bannock, Montana quite frequently, or I used to. And I was instantly connected to that place. I couldn't figure out why, but when I went through a few of the buildings, I didn't know a lot about the history when I first went there. And when I went there, I kept seeing this gentleman. He was really tall, and I could just see his shadow, and he kept walking up, like he was walking up the boardwalk, and I can hear the boots, and I can see him, and he kept walking. And I thought, well, maybe it was a reenactor, you know, and I felt him everywhere I went, and I could describe him to the T. So that, I would say, the second visit that I went, I kept seeing him, and I see other spirits there too. And I heard the babies crying in one particular building just because there was, I believe it was like a cholera or something like that that hit that town. And it, unfortunately, a lot of kids and people lost their life, you know. And again, I seen this gentleman. He kept following me around. I was super connected with the Mead Hotel, which is back in the day. It was built, I believe, in 1883, and I'll double check. But it was like the first building built there from bricks, and it, you know, a lot of good history. Anyway, I remember going there, and I instantly was like transformed in time. So I remember clearly walking down these stairs that circle, and I remember it felt good. It was like a wedding. And then instantly I was taken back to like panic. And in this hotel, there's old bank vaults. And these bank vaults, they used to hide some of the townspeople in these because there was known attacks from the local Indian tribe. And so when the tribe would come in, it, you know, they would hide some women and children in these. And again, instantly I felt this gentleman again. And so I finally went and talked to one of the main managers that managed that town. And I described this guy to the T, and he showed me. And it was the former sheriff, Henry Plummer, that I was seeing. And he haunts that area all the time. Yep. And so I see him quite frequently when I'm up there. And yeah, I feel he keeps saying, I'm innocent.
Yeah, you know why I think he goes up to you? Because
he's thinking about refried dreams.
Yeah, he was like, hey, when are they dropping the album? I mean, they approached me at a Walmart parking lot.
Yeah, he wants
bedazzled. They're like, yeah. And I
the bedazzled outfit, absolutely.
Yeah. And the sombrero. No, come on, can you be serious for once? Jeez.
We are being serious.
That sheriff was in a very well-known womanizer. So he's probably like, you know, like, here's a woman. Yeah.
Well, there's actually a little bit more secret to this story.
really quick, since we opened up the show with conversations about cats and all that kind of stuff,
Yes.
you guys should look up the name of H.P. Lovecraft's cat.
Don't.
Don't.
I am not.
As everybody's doing it on their
to
phone right
do
now,
that.
I don't. It's probably not something we can say live.
No, no, you
No.
can't.
Um,
So Jesse,
Anyways.
when I go to Bannock every summer, it's one of my favorite places to
Mhm.
go. And I have not seen him, but I have seen a woman in the was it the old hotel? The hotel
It's
there?
Dorothy.
Huh?
it's Dorothy.
Bun, long
Yes.
dress.
So
Yes.
she was
Yeah,
actually a
so-
very young girl.
No,
that
this
would-
the woman I'm
Oh,
seeing
really?
is not. No, she would be like in her 40s.
Oh,
And
yeah,
like
I could see
striped
that.
long skirt with a
I can
You
see
see?
that.
okay. Yeah, that's who
Is it
I
a-
get. Huh?
Is it a height thing? Because people were shorter back then.
What does
The
that have-
miners actually were very. I mean, because
would
of the
have
hard
to
work
be.
they had to do.
So I mean, there's people out there that go to certain locations and they're like, I keep seeing these little girls and they're blah 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 and they're wearing this dress, and then they look at pictures and they're like, no, these were fully grown women. The only thing is that back then there wasn't very much nutrition, so people didn't grow very much. So people see the
Oh.
height and it's like 4'10", 4 foot, you know what I mean? And they're like,
See,
oh,
I
the
wonder
kids.
what
It's like,
happened
no.
to me. I'm taller than a
adults.
hobbit.
Well,
You are taller than a hobbit. You should be proud of that.
Oh,
Yeah.
you just calm down over there.
I'm 5'6", so I like to think of myself as a giant midget.
No.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
I'm a
That would be
giant
more like
midget,
me.
you jerk. I don't want to be a giant midget.
Oh my God.
No, I am.
I'm
taller than that,
5'6"
Ash.
too. No, I am 5'6" and a half. I do not want to be a giant midget.
well, maybe it's because you're always in heels. So, what, Ash? What scary
Maybe.
story do you have?
Mine's okay. Mine's not that scary, but so it actually happened recent. Okay, so if you guys follow me on TikTok, follow me on anything, you all know, lost my grandpa recently.
Hmm.
Won't get into that.
I just got
Oh.
chills.
Yeah.
Me too.
Sorry.
I
I'm
am
sorry.
Anyway.
Instant.
I have a question.
Uh-oh. Hold on.
All
Yeah, go
through
ahead, Molly.
all through the show, there's been a person or spirit with a name beginning with G that's been kind of pushing in. Is that related to your grandpa?
His name does not start with a G.
Okay.
No G for me. Anybody
No
else?
G's for anybody? Anybody in the
Somebody
chat?
in the chat. Maybe somebody in the chat. I don't know.
Huh. Well, anyways, so my grandma, his wife, has been getting like a lot of
Gee.
like signs from him. She has seen him sitting in his truck, etc. And honestly, I got a little jealous. Because when he was on his deathbed, I made him promise me, show me a sign, please, that you're still with me, that you're somewhere, because I cannot do life without you. Like, I fucking need you. So I'm very particular about my house. When I vacuum, I vacuum. I am vacuuming the baseboards. I'm not just vacuuming the floor. I'm doing everything. So
We've been
I'm
to your house.
vacuuming-
You are very particular about your house.
Yes. So I'm vacuuming my son's room and I'm doing his baseboard. So obviously I'm looking down and I'm facing his door.
There it is. Teal.
And I'm home by myself. It's just me. Well, not necessarily by myself. It's just me and my son. He's 19 months old. So he's like 2 feet tall at the most. And I see this shadow walk down my hallway. And I just see it kind of out of the corner of my eye. And I'm just going, okay, well, maybe maybe the husband's home, maybe my daughter's home. So I go look. Nobody's there. It's just me and my son. So obviously, instantly message Messy Jessie and ask her about it. Tell her about like what happened, and she stated, okay, well, I feel like it was your grandpa in his younger years. He looked skinnier. Well, I don't think I've shown Messy Jessie a picture of my grandpa in his younger years, and he was skinnier. So it was interesting. But like since then, my grandma has seen more of him. She's felt him in her house. She has heard him cough multiple times in their house. And it's kind of wild how active he is right now.
Yeah.
Where
It's
he
the
should just
holidays.
pass like a month ago, 2
Do you
months
think when
ago.
people pass on, like when it's their time, that they can choose what time in their life that they wanted to pass on? Like, I guess, like in the prime of their life, I guess.
I believe so.
The-
Oh, go ahead.
In a way.
What do you mean? Say that again, Bertie.
So, do you think the people that pass on get to pick their afterlife form, like the prime of their life?
Oh man.
Like,
Hell yeah! I'm gonna be 20 forever.
Wow, that's a
21, always.
Do you think that you choose what form you take, or do you think it's got to be you, or do you think that you could, like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, okay, so
Yeah.
this is what
Yes and no.
what I'm planning on doing is, there'll be EVP recordings of me.
Oh,
And-
God.
And there'll be people walking, and then they'll trip, and they're like, oh, and they fall down, and then they kind of like, play back the tape, and it'll be me saying like, be careful, don't trip over my testicles, and
Oh my God. I was thinking I was going to come back as a chicken. Anyway.
and
Oh my god.
and then it'll be like, would you stop? I'm being serious
What?
here.
I am too.
So I'm thinking of taking the form of this thing with a sheet, like the sheet, and you know how it has the part cut up, only you'll see like stuff dangling down.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those old-timey grandfather clocks, that swing back and forth. Would you stop?
Do you go cuckoo to cuckoo?
Yeah.
There's
And
something so seriously wrong with you.
but
What is happening
top-
right now?
the top will not be rounded the way it normally is. I want the top of the
Let me
of
check
the
it.
goat to be pointy. It'll be pointy.
Oh, no.
I mean,
And
you
visually,
live your
I'm
best
thinking-
afterlife.
so visually, I want it to look like almost like a reverse Kilroy. Do you guys remember Kilroy? Kilroy was here.
God.
Yeah.
It'll be like it'll be like the reverse Kilroy.
You almost sound like a garbage pail kid.
That's all I got. I don't know. Anyways, what's
I'm
Nothing.
Pecan.
Don't worry about it.
what?
Wow.
Oh,
You're
Lord.
fine.
I'm worried. I'm just worried.
About who? About me?
So-
Don't be worried about me. I didn't fall.
Yeah,
Those people
I'm-
fell.
Yeah, I fell up the stairs, so it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Bertie, what is your
Don't
scary
trip
story?
over my.
Okay,
That was
so
Don't just
back when I was
God.
working at the high school, and Whispering Willows was living in town, and I get off on Friday, and I usually drive up to their apartment, and hang out there, and we usually go grocery shopping or go fishing or go do something or just generally just hang out for a whole Saturday, and then I go home Sunday. Well, this particular Friday, I get in my truck and I sit down and I put the key in the ignition and I turn it over and fire up the truck and wait for the truck to warm up. As I'm sitting there, I'm like, somebody's in my truck. And I kind of turn to look, but not look, you know what I mean? Trying to catch it out of my peripheral. I know there's nobody physical in my truck. It just feels like there's somebody in my truck just sitting there.
Hmm.
And
Ooh.
I'm like, that's a woman. And I had to go up there anyway. And well, I'm just sitting there going, don't look, don't acknowledge, it'll leave. Don't
Why?
look,
Did it
don't
feel
acknowledge,
annoying?
It'll leave. She didn't leave the whole truck ride up to my brother's house. I parked the truck. I go inside.
So it was a woman.
And I
Wow.
It's because he
go
commented
inside,
on
I
her
say
rap.
hi, we hang out, go to sleep. The next morning, Willows goes, you brought your work home with you last night. And I'm thinking, oh God, did I
Steal a
drop
mop?
a cleaning rag and one of the dogs ate it? Or did I drop a box cutter and one of the kids got it? Oh God. And she's like, no. About 3 a.m, my bed started shaking and popped my head off the pillow, and I look at the foot of my bed, and there's an old lady standing at the end of the bed doing this.
Ooh.
Oh, jeez.
What was it doing?
It was giving her the look. Like,
Which look? Show us again.
The look
Whoa.
as I want to speak with you.
And
Oh, jeez.
she politely but firmly said, operating hours are between 10 and 2, and coffee, go away. And went back to sleep. And I'm like, did she go away? And she's like, yeah, she went away. Made her go away. I'm like, oh, thank God. I don't think I could.
Oh my God.
I don't think I could drive around with her anymore.
Jeez.
All
And
right,
he
so-
used to do that all the time. He was oblivious the things that he would bring home with him or over to visit. My daughter is also a sensitive, and there was times where she would come in the room and ask me, if there was something in the house. That she even does it to this day. She's also very intuitive. She just doesn't have the ability to listen and hear spirit, but she can see them.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, the funeral
It's
home
like our
across,
lighthouses,
the funeral across the street from the high school didn't help either. I'll bet.
No.
more than likely it's
Mm-mm.
the now buried and flattened funeral home that had a lot to do with that.
Mm.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I'm
You-
sure.
Do you
Yeah,
think that
so-
that if you disturb somebody's grave, they get mad?
I don't
Absolutely.
think you're there.
I've seen
I
it.
would. I wouldn't
Yeah.
care.
I wouldn't care.
I you know what? I always tell people, like, when I die, bury. Okay, so my father, when he dies, when he dies, I'm gonna bury him just like I'm gonna be buried in a refrigerator box, because this is why. Okay,
Okay.
so when my
Sure.
grandmother died, okay, people were talking about, like, what box should we put her in, all that kind of stuff, and then they're making calls and they're letting me know, like, hey, va a costar, mira, dicen que va a costar cerca, $1,000 aquí, que vamos a enterrar, basically it's gonna be 1,000 here and 100 for this, and I said, for what? And then they're like, well, because they have to embalm her, and I said, for what? And they're like, because we want to preserve her, and I was like, why would you? We're gonna bury her. Like, if I wanted her to be preserved, we would have left her on a chair on the couch, So then, and then I start to imagine things like when my dad dies, and he's laying there in that casket, which I'm probably not gonna put. I'm gonna put him in a box, refrigerator box, because with the casket, people walk up to because those caskets are like what, 10 grand. And they're nice and they're nice and shiny, and I imagine myself at the funeral and then the family walking up and like looking at him like, oh, look how peaceful he looks. I would run over there and shut the casket and be like, look at the box. That's what we paid for, and then, and they're like, and I wouldn't even put pants on them, like I would just have like the bottom, covered up and we have to put him in his best clothes. I'm like, why? You're gonna bury him, you know?
Oh no.
Well,
Like, why? What? You know what?
I think
It's a-
if I was going to be buried, put me in a pine box like the Old West. I'm going to be buried.
Don't bury
So-
me.
But anyway, I'm like,
Yeah.
why spend the money on a casket?
Yeah, it's dumb.
Please
Or
just cremate me.
yeah, just
We-
cremate
I wanna-
me,
you
and
can always draw in your box.
I want you
No,
guys to just
Jesse.
cremate me, and I'm tasking you guys with this, okay? I want to be
Okay.
cremated, and then I want you
Okay.
guys to go up to, you know, when they have like the Oscars and all those celebrities are walking around. I
Oh,
want you
God,
guys
what
to
are we
go
doing?
up
Dirt! I got
and
a
then just dump me all over a celebrity. You know, just pick a celebrity, just dump them. So when they're interviewing that person, and they're like,
Okay. So
and they're like, oh, there, I don't even know who's a famous celebrity. Clint Eastwood.
Can
You know,
I-
he's still gonna be alive. Excuse me,
don't
Clint
think-
Eastwood. What are you wearing tonight? And you guys will walk up to him and be like, Decon, and just like spray it all over himself, all over him, you know.
that's
Just,
so wrong.
No,
Get him in
I
the
would
eyes.
just go like this
I
and
just
spray you
wanna
all
be-
over the place.
but
I want to be
he's
taken
so
to
old.
Yellowstone and let the Grizzlies have at it. Be part of the food
Yeah.
chain.
Instead of a sky death, it would be a bear death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
a bear. Yeah, you know what? Pour
Yeah,
my
or
ashes
a
all over a
scarf.
bear.
Whatever.
Bear.
Clint Eastwood wouldn't even
You know.
notice. He's so old, he's already covered in dust. So they'll be like, Mr. Eastwood, I'm sorry.
He's so
Mr.
nice too. He's so nice. He's so
Miss-
He is
I'm
very.
sorry, Mr. Eastwood. He'll be like, what? What are you sorry about? What is going on? Dust all over my face? That's how I look. You know,
Or that we could do a like an Oprah thing. You get decon and you get decon.
yeah, just,
Everybody
He's
gets
in-
decon.
guess what?
Merry
He's in your
Christmas.
drinks. Yeah. You've
Okay,
been
so
drinking
I
them
have-
for the past hour. Decon's in your
A
mouth.
story about.
Ooh.
You want to hear about the Indus? Okay, what? Off the rails again. I want to hear. No, so I have a story about the Indus Hotel. So
What?
this is the Indus Hotels in Soda Springs, and
Mhm.
the mayor and the police chief wanted us to come in, Pocatello Paranormal Research, to investigate the hotel because they were having a lot of problems with the hotel, and it's empty. It was empty at the time. I mean, the city had been given ownership of the hotel when the owner died, and they're like, "There's all this stuff going on in the hotel." Police were constantly at the hotel. The alarms are going off. Everything's going up, but there's nobody in here. So they asked us to come in. So the second time we were there, I was standing with the police chief in the. There was two restaurants at one time in the hotel. There was a cafe and there was the steakhouse. And then we were standing in the cafe, and I was standing there talking to the police chief. And at this point, I had a really good idea of who was haunting the hotel, who was a dark presence, right? There was a lot of entities in this hotel. But I knew I said, I believe that this man harmed children. I think he came in off the train because the train was right there. The train tracks are like one building away from the Indus Hotel.
Oh, geez.
And I said, I think he
Jeez.
came in on the train. I think he did this a lot of places. And I think in my head, I see it play out like a movie scene. He screwed with the wrong little kid, and the town's people at the time, this was like I want to say late 1800s,
What? No way.
dragged him the street
Wow.
on horseback. Yeah. And I said, I think he's buried
Oh,
right
that's
behind the hotel.
terrible.
And
That's-
the police chief, the police chief said, how do you know? And I said, his body's behind the hotel. And
Is this-
so there's the geysers behind the hotel and then a cemetery, but that's not what I meant. I meant
Yep.
in the parking lot. And they said, how do you know about the
Ooh.
body? And
Roland,
yeah,
come
like,
on, man.
I know
Sorry.
exactly what you're
I said,
talking
I don't-
about.
What do you, and he goes, they found, well, okay. Yeah. So he's the bad guy who gropes women in the hotel
Wow.
Yeah.
and children, but yeah.
So the hotel's got a restaurant
So
in there.
you found out go ahead, Willis.
Sorry. The hotel has got a restaurant in there that my family and I frequented a lot. And we would go there with the kids to watch the geyser in the bottom. And I have ran into that guy, I don't know how many times.
Ooh.
He's actually followed Haley, my youngest or my oldest, in and out of places. And I'll tell you what, he's buried closer to the building, I believe. He's not over by the geyser. I think he's closer to the building. Is that where you're
He
sensing him
was
at
found
too?
underneath the parking lot behind the building.
Yeah, precisely.
Well, that's where he
Oh,
was.
wow.
Skeleton was found. Yep.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so he's still in the building, like he's really attached to the building, but he'll follow people around. And in my work, we have put contractors up in this hotel when it's now an active hotel again. For a while it was not, but we put contractors up in the hotel, and they checked out in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, we can't stay here. I can't stay here. And they like slept in their vehicles to get out of that hotel.
Damn.
He's
Oh,
very
wow.
dark. He's very menacing. He's in this hotel and he's just bad news, and he's always there.
Dark? What do you mean by dark?
Mean, menacing, horrible person. He's dark. He's evil.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
And
he
when you
did terrible things and then killed little children.
I
So
think man,
when
like me in
you-
the summer.
Pretty dark.
Wasn't
Yes.
When you see him,
did you realize that he traveled from town to town on the railways? And then
no, he's stuck there.
Yeah.
He's stuck now, but he used to. So
yeah.
he probably did this in a lot of places. So
I can just
one night on, I think the second or third investigation, we had the police chief interrogate him like he was interrogating somebody standing in front of him, right? And we went to a particular room. That's where this guy likes to hang out the most. And the police chief put chair to chair, and he sat down in one, and he starts interrogating him like he would a suspect. And this guy started fleeing from room to room, and we chased him all around the hotel. He didn't want to be interrogated, and the chief was just going at him. And yeah, it was nuts.
Do you think he knows he's dead?
he
does.
doesn't. You don't think?
He
You
does-
think he does?
Yeah, he does now. He does now.
Well, really, damn. I would have been like, oh man, these people. If I knew I was dead and somebody's asking me questions, I would have set that old trap that got those guys doing the EVP. Just tripped them.
Yeah.
And so,
Oh my gosh.
all right, I have a story. Damn, I don't even know if this is really a ghost story or is it
Can
just
I ask
something
a
that.
quick-
Okay,
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
Did you see his spirit? Did you actually physically see his spirit when you were there?
Yeah.
So was his eyes all dark with the
Black.
darkness coming out from his eyes, his mouth all dark,
He
almost
had black
like
hair. He had a black cowboy hat on. He had black eyes. He had a
Yeah.
very dark red shirt on. He had jeans and boots, obviously,
yeah.
but he dark. He was, yeah, that's him.
The thing that you could see is like the darkness. There was like those like lightning lines coming out from around his eyes too. Did you see that?
I didn't
Like
see
his
that.
face
All I
was
saw
cracking.
was like he had no, what do you call that? What's the white? The cornea? He had no
Yeah.
cornea. It was dark. So, and so there's other spirits in the hotel that we made contact with, lots, but he was the only dark thing there. And I think he's the person who drove. There was a cattle rancher. There's a book written about this. Only known murder in the hotel. I say murder, but it's not murder. In the sense that a man named William Pape he was a cattle rancher from Afton, Wyoming, who came to the hotel just 2 buildings down from the hotel used to be the old hospital. and he brought his son over who was having an appendicitis. And so he was staying in the hotel. This man was a God-fearing man. He was LDS. Afton, Wyoming is very LDS. He was a gentle guy. He was just a really respected man over there. And he was a cattle rancher. He brings his son over to Afton, Wyoming. And after 3 days staying in the hotel, he goes so bizarre, people with a straight razor, and to the point where the police had to come in, and on the second floor, they shot and killed him.
Oh,
because he's attacking everybody. What would drive somebody so bananas if not for a dark presence coming into you? I think, my opinion, that
I agree.
that happened.
I think he was possessed or just tormented.
Just got hot
I
in here.
I think he got possessed.
Oh, I just got colds.
Yeah, I think it was this entity, this dark man who was killed in front of the hotel, whose body was found behind the hotel. I think it was him. I think he got into William somehow because William's. I mean, you don't go into a hotel thinking you're going to be possessed, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
And you know, an LDS person,
I go in there and
because of how holy that they are prime for being possessed too, especially if they're not wearing their white linens.
Thing is just that hotel is bonkers. It's still open. You can still rent rooms. I love it. I wish I could own it because I think it would be an incredible hotel to own. But yeah,
You'd stick me on night shift for sure.
there's
You're
a lot of
officially on
entities in
night
that
shift.
hotel
Night
that are
shift.
just fine. They're fine, but not this guy.
Oh, no way. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Remember when we did Anne's Boutique? And we went down to the tunnels and we had that little conversation with that little girl.
Mhm.
And
The
she
little
was telling
girl.
us that she got in the tunnels.
Yes.
And we're like, well, who did it? And she kind of described the same guy that you're talking about. And that's where the theory of him going from
Yeah,
town
that
to
was
town
kind of
on-
wild.
Yeah, going
Town to
from
town on the rail line.
That was an interesting
Yeah.
night for me.
So
Have you guys ever investigated the Yellowstone Hotel there in Pocatello?
yes, we have.
Okay. So my mom's spirit is there. Her name is Helen. When they were redoing the Yellowstone, I had walked in and I could hear her calling my real life name that I was born with. Did you guys run into a spirit by the name of Helen?
I have to tell you that hotel was so active. I honestly can't remember how many we ran into. There were. Here's what happened during the Yellowstone. We had. So when we do static cameras, we have their home security cameras, right? They're a hard drive and camera setup. We had one hard drive and camera set up in the restaurant, one in the whiskey bar, and one in the bar, right? And all three hard drives were fried when we walked out of that hotel. We played back video during the investigation on all three hard drives because we were live streaming and people were saying, hey, play back the video. I just saw this. And so we'd play it back. We're like, oh, this is so cool. We got so much stuff. All three
sounds
hard
like,
drives.
yeah, you think you did.
Yeah. I got next morning, I had brought them all in the house. The next morning, I was getting ready to download all the hard drives. All three hard drives were fried. And so,
didn't they get
and I
factory
have
reset?
pictures of stuff that we took at the hotel that night of, it looked like gigantic spiders climbing the walls, but they were like 15 feet. I mean,
They're shadow
it
people.
It was bananas what we got in that hotel that night. But it cost me a lot of money because I had to buy hard drives.
Yeah.
Were the hard drives corrupted, or did they just get factory reset?
They were corrupted. We could not use them anymore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of special energy to just fry electronics.
All three? I can understand one failing, but all three?
Three?
Yeah. Somebody didn't want their picture taken.
They have never worked since then. We had to buy new hard drives and put into them.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
But no, to answer your question, Whispering Willows, I don't know the names particularly, but we had so much activity. And then we lost all of our audio and video, and we couldn't. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I wonder
Wild.
if they'd allow me to walk that up there. I haven't been able to be in contact with my mom since she passed about 10 years ago next month. You know, I smell her perfume. I see like dragonflies and butterflies and things that she held dear, but I have not been able to communicate, which I know is normal. You know, you're not supposed to communicate with those that were real close to you, but I hope someday that I'll be able to go up there, because that's where her honeymoon was after she married my dad, which was one of the happiest times in her life.
I get the same thing.
Oh, speaking of dads,
well, let's talk offline about that, because I've been I want to go back into the hotel, but maybe without electronics.
Okay. Speaking of your dad,
Bertie, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I remember seeing a video that you did on TikTok about smells after people have passed. And I told you about the cigarette smells that we would get in the house. They would just appear and then they would just vanish. And Willows used to get it in her trailer back in Kimmer. And yeah, she was like, yeah, it's well, I was getting yelled at because Mom thought I was smoking cigarettes again. I'm like, I'm not smoking cigarettes. I'm not smoking cigarettes. I can smell what you're smelling, and that's Dad's brand of cigarettes. They're Winston's.
Oh yeah.
You're like, that's not my brand.
No.
Do they smell differently? Because I don't smoke to me. They do? Okay.
Mm-hmm. So
oh yes, they do.
She can even tell you that they be in the house or watching TV or something like that, and they get whiffs of cigarette smoke. And yeah, I'll let her tell you about it.
Yeah, this happens to me a lot, especially Grandma, our grandmother who passed away, Grandma B. There's times where I'll smell her perfume. It remind me to tell you a story when she was in the nursing home, about that story after we're done here. But yeah, I kept smelling strong cigarette smoke in the house, and I kept thinking that Dirty Birdie was smoking in the house, and so I kept talking to him about it, but in reality it was Dad. I finally seen him one night, and then my son, who was young, who was very close to his grandpa, kept talking to him in the room.
Am I back?
You're back.
You're back.
Yeah.
You're back.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just it was strange that I could remember the smell of Winston cigarettes, and when I'd smell it. The only thing Mom smells of cigarette smoke is cigarette smoke. I'm like,
Winston
no,
Churchill.
Those are Winston. And she's like, how can you tell the difference? And I'm like,
I can't.
Smokers can tell the difference between a Marlboro, a Camel, a Winston.
You can tell the difference. I can tell the difference between a Marlboro Red and a Marlboro Light.
Mm-hmm.
Gross.
My dad used pomade in his hair every day, and he still had a pretty full head of hair. But when every once in a while, I'll drive his 1960 Bug that I have, right? And I'll be driving it, and I get this overwhelming smell of pomade, like it just comes in, and it's not the smell. The smell of the Volkswagen is gas, right? It's just because the gas tank right in front of you, right? Because it's the gas tank's under the hood, and the trunk is the engine, so you smell gas in this old Bug. So it's not that, because when you get in it, it's the comforting smell of fuel. But yeah, I've gotten this whiff of pomade all of a sudden. I still tiny ashtray, like all of his gum wrappers in there. I just can't clean them out. I just can't do it.
Oh,
So, it's the smells come and they remind you so much of the person. It's amazing.
mhm.
Yeah.
Huh. That's an interesting thought.
You've never
Yeah.
experienced
Beans?
And sometimes,
Yeah,
You know,
beans.
after my dad passed, I would find random pennies around the house, even though we clean thoroughly. I go
Yeah.
like downstairs to get some, come back upstairs, walk into the living room, and there's a penny in the middle of the floor. Don't know how it got there.
that? Mhm.
And yeah, we
Yeah.
also had this yellow rose bush. It was teeny tiny. My sister got it from somewhere, and that rose bush would only bloom after somebody had passed on. I really loved the one
Oh,
that
yeah.
passed on.
Oh, wow.
Wild. Wow.
So, yeah, the random
Smell
pennies.
really
connected to
beautiful.
memories. I guess whenever there's like the smell of like burning rubber or something, just what? I was being serious for a
Nothing.
minute.
Keep
Now
going.
I
It's
lost
true.
my train of thought.
Burning
I just
rubber.
caught it for you. So the smell of burning rubber, just random. I've smelt that too. Normally it's associated with a negative entity when I've smelt it, but yeah, I've smelt it before too.
That was gonna say. It just reminds me when in memories when people used to get a tire put around them and soaked in gasoline and set on fire.
Oh my
You
God.
know, I know.
So
Oh my
I'm
God.
gonna tell you about when Bertie and my's
What?
great grandmother was passing away.
Oh, serious?
She was in the nursing home, and his sister and I were in there, and Grandma looked at me and she goes, "I want to go home." And then she's like, "Daddy, I want to go home." And I looked at the door, and he was standing there at the door. And I told her, I said, "He's here to take you home, Grandma. He's here to take you home." And after we left that night, she passed away. Have you guys ever experienced that?
Um,
Uh,
I think a
when
lot of
my
people
dad
do.
passed away, yeah, it was pretty unique for me because I think that's the night I started seeing apparitions. I didn't really see them before. Yeah. So it was the house was full. I didn't know, some I did. Some in World War II uniforms. And so it wasn't until my stepmother walked through the door and went to his bed that she was smiling from ear to ear, and then he took his final breath and he was gone. So it was really something, and it gave me a lot of peace knowing that for sure we have people that are going to be with us, So
I've dealt with a lot of death and dying. I worked for hospice before my job that I currently have here in Eugene as a therapist. And I have been with people as they passed. And to go back to your question of whether people can choose their form, I believe that they can, because a lot of times when people had passed, I actually seen them change form as they were leaving in spirit. I've seen them change to eagles. I've seen them change to rabbits. I've also seen my cousin who passed away many years ago. When I see her spirit, sometimes it's in a horse form. So to answer your question, I do believe that is possible.
Interesting.
I would take the form of Elvis Presley right before he died, when he was bloated and he was all high on pills. You remember those videos when he was doing karate
I do.
he's all high on pills? He's like, all right, everybody, come here. Throw a punch right here. I'm going to block it. I'm going to karate chop you right in the neck. All right, here we go.
What is wrong with
And then-
you?
And then he's just so sweaty, you know, because he's going through it, because he hasn't had a pill in like an hour, you know.
And his pantsuit is like really
and his
tight.
yeah.
And yeah.
And he's wearing that gi that's bedazzled, like when I wear on refried drink.
Bedazzled before
So-
bedazzled.
Yeah, and
He
he
can
was
sing, I
damn.
have a blue Christmas.
Blue Christmas without you.
Sorry.
Okay.
Anyways, guys,
Do we end it there at the bedazzled?
Yeah.
Elvis
yeah, let's
Presley?
end,
I think.
let's end it there. So, anyways, guys, thanks for joining us on another excited episode of Nightmare Road. I, of course, was one of your hosts, Decon, and with our what's that? The gang sign?
Yeah, that's our new gang sign.
Love.
God
That's like a-
almighty.
But, anyways, so
Chickens, but
yeah, I don't know. Anyways, guys, thank you to our amazing guest here, and guys, follow us on all the platforms. Buy some merch. This show sucks. Just share it with everybody.
I think we need more cowbells.
I think we need more
I'm-
cowbell.
You know, and jars of dirt.
You know, as a kid, this guy jumped the sidewalk and almost took me out when I was like 8. Now I wish I was standing 5 feet to the right so that I would have been hit clean from that car. Just
You know,
I can't
Whatever.
So
anymore.
I just clean, and then I would take the form. I would probably take the form of Ronald Reagan. I just walked up. Anyways, all right.
Oh my god. Am
So-
I a crook?
Anyways, guys. Anyways, so yeah, that's it. Remember, guys, I never told my story. Look both ways, especially when you find yourselves on Nightmare Road.
woohoo! Bye.
Bye.
And I never got to tell my story.
Oh.
Well,
Oh, somebody from the YouTube chat wanted to know if you heard any more screams out there.
hey, oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
Anyways, good night, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, bye everybody. Thank you, Whispering Willows.
Thank
Goodbye,
you,
guys.
Whispering
Bright
Willow.
blessings.
That was
You
so
too.
awesome. I'd love to have you back on. I would love to.
I have a lot more stories about Wyoming and when a bunch of miners died there and the screams that I could hear from my house.
Oh my God. Yeah,
Yeah.
you just let us know. We record every Thursday night at 7. So you let us know when is a good time. We'll have you back on.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Merry Christmas, y'all.
Merry Christmas,
Take care of you.
everybody.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bird, are you still on?